Hello, Grand Rising, Sirena Barefoot Gypsy. Hi, how y'all doing? So, excuse me, I was outside and all these things were coming to me. And when I was sitting down getting all this Chromebook set up and everything, all these things were coming to me, and it's, I guess the gist of it all is, there's all this talk about chosen ones and light workers and magic and the devil and God and all these things. But, let's just break it down to this. Love. Love yourself. You have to begin to love who you are, and I know that sounds crazy. Love all the things that you are. You can't change the past. It's in the past, And we hold on to memories. And this came to me about the kid. I hold on to memories of what was. Well, this is now. This is me now. And him now. And everyone else, all of you now. But holding on to those memories, can they get skewed sometimes? Maybe we embellish things. Is that the right word? Anyway. So I'm going to change the subject. Because this just came into my head. It's, my heart really goes out to all the unhealed people. All the people that are hurting so bad that they spend every waking moment in such turmoil and in such pain that they get jealous of other people. Instead of looking at themselves and realizing what a gift they are to the world. My heart really goes out to the unhealed people. Yes, even the ones that hurt me and don't like me for whatever reason. In a way, I love those people the most because I understand their pain. I wish I could just take it all away. Love. Focus more on yourself and your own self-healing and what needs to be done. The child in you that's crying out because you were neglected and abused, abandoned. You're afraid to be vulnerable, aren't we all? Vulnerability's a mother. I was blessed enough to have met, for whatever reason, he came into my life, but I was able to act out and say and do a lot of things that were extremely difficult for me that I wouldn't even do with somebody that I know that I was even in a relationship with. Never been in a relationship with this man. Probably never will. But that part doesn't matter. We're all souls. And we all came here for a purpose. Everybody in our life, there's a reason why we meet them. There's a reason why they come in. Some is just for a season, some's for a day, some's for a long time, some's for life. Just know your part. Know your part, your player in the game. And if you truly are a person, and I believe most unhealed people that hurt people, there's something, I always see the light in, well, no, not always. Some of them are beyond that, but God has gifted me with being able to see past the human, see the soul, because the human will do horrible things to other humans from their pain. I heard pain body. Eckhart Tolle, aka ego. Ego meaning unhealed traumas, right? The recorded, programmed, I heard messages, but things of our lives, everything we've heard, everything we've seen, all the people in our lives from the time we come out of the womb, even before that. Baby's here, they feel the mom's energy. Mothers are extremely important. Women should be loved and cherished. Men too. Not just saying just women. Everyone should be. But when you come from a place of love, that's all there is. There's no room for fuckery or hate, or you wouldn't screw somebody over. You wouldn't do any of that. You wouldn't send magic. You wouldn't do all that. I don't understand these things. I mean, I do to the point from the trauma, but my mind doesn't work that way. I heard when you have powerful magic, if you want to say magic, I just heard it's a God-given gift. When God gifts you with something, he gifted you with life. Isn't that enough? To live and flourish on this earth plane. Gaia's alive. So take chosen ones and all that out of it and repent. And if you don't believe in God, or you just want the things of the world and you'll do anything to obtain them, there's still time before it's set in place. Because once that first domino falls, after we're locked in, there's no going back. Tick tock, timer will be set. The sands of time. But you have a choice. Live in your pain and hurt everyone around you, even if you think you aren't, you are. Because what's on the inside of you will be on the outside to other people. What do you think they say? You know them by their fruits. You can tell somebody. You can dress up the human any way you want. You can throw money at things and say, oh, look at how great I am. I tithed today. I gave to a charity that just steals money for themselves, and they already know that when you focus on something, it brings more of that. So when they have all this breast cancer awareness stuff, it just brings more breast cancer. Because everybody's wearing pink bows, and everybody's going, breast cancer awareness, breast cancer, what you speak. Everybody talks about it. What you speak becomes your reality. And there's people that I know that go by that, and they're like, I don't want to speak anything. I don't want to speak anything. Well, some of us are meant to speak things. I don't want to talk about that. Well, I'm supposed to. I don't know about your journey, but there's some things I have to say. I just heard, how else will they come into fruition? And we all have this ability because we're all part of it. The vibration. Get into the gap. I highly suggest Dr. Wayne Dyer. He has something about the gap, but it was very interesting when I watched Doctor Strange and the multiverse thing or whatever. And Doctor Strange had hidden in the gap. And the way they explained it in multiverse is it's between, the gap is the space between universes or worlds or whatever. I don't know. Something like that. But Dr. Dyer talks about the gap, so that really sparked my interest. I've often asked myself, and I'm like, I don't know how I got to this place of and I'm still in the process of surrendering. I have for the most part, but my mind, when I want to think about stuff, still wants to think about all kinds of things, But the bigger picture is Serena, this isn't being done to you, it's being done for you, and isn't your life great? Everything you could hope for? Yes. Right now. But this isn't where my story ends. I haven't even bought my glass slippers yet. I'm just kidding. But, God painted the canvas of your life, and it's unrolling. Don't try to paint another picture over it. It'll be chaos then. Maybe you're not a painter. God's the painter of this world, of your life. So, happy day. And 11:05 is the time, and I got date with that. So whatever that means to somebody, could be a birthday, could be a day where it's just significant to somebody, or will be. Hell, it could even be me. I don't know. I need to know what I need to know when I need to know it. And, you know, I feel like the people who do know, whether they've ever told me or not, I'm sure I have probably said something I wasn't even aware of to somebody, and then it came true, and they're like, oh my gosh, how did she know that? But I'll never hear that. And that's okay. I'm not here to, it doesn't matter, but because I did my part, then the rest is up to God, you know. God asks you to do something. That's your part. It doesn't matter that person's part, or why that was said, or trying to figure out why you told them something, or why this is this, or why this is this. It doesn't matter, really, because you did your part. The rest is up to them and Father. Okay? People don't want to hand homeless people on the street any money. They're just going to go buy drugs or alcohol. Well, if you don't want to give them money, give them food. If they don't take the food, give it to them anyway. But you can't. I mean, you could do it. Okay, let me stop. Because one person has a story and you see them at that place, you have no idea how they got there or why. Because, you know, most people are one paycheck for being on the street anyway. In one instant, your whole entire world can turn upside down and change. Either way. You could be somebody on the street and your whole world can change, and you're not anymore. You can be somebody that had the suburbia house and the blah, 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 blah. Bam. Now you're homeless. You ain't got no family and friends because you were a dick to everybody because you thought you were better than everyone else. Look at you now. Look at you now. Love. This is why God and Jesus spoke so much about loving your neighbor and loving God, because they know the secret. Because they are. It's love. That's hard to do when you don't even know what it is, because we're taught condition, that love is conditional. If you're good, I'll buy you a toy. That's showing, I did the same thing. You're not going to get that. Oh, you better be good or Santa's not going to come. Horrible. Horrid. I didn't know any different then. They're coming out with contraptions and things that, please, anybody that wants an easy way out of things, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but just try and be aware and be mindful. whatever you do to the human body, and it has its natural way of doing things, it's just nature. It just knows how. You take that one aspect of that away, or make something weak because you're not using it, because you're using something else to do something that your body naturally does. Like I heard of this thing, some kind of thing to help babies with gas. Well, you cannot do something like that to help with gas, because that's the body's natural. The body knows how to do that already. It's natural. It's going to come out one way or another. But if you put something in the rectum of a baby, of a child, you know what I mean? And over time, especially when they're young, think about that. If you take away what the body naturally does, how's the body going to know to do that? Now listen to me. Because something else was introduced to do that, think about the long-term things of that. First of all, things shouldn't go really in your ass, and you're going to do that to a child. That's traumatic. It's traumatic. And because a baby's a baby doesn't mean they don't know anything, but they're absorbing everything. And just because a doctor told you something, always go with your gut instinct. If you can do diet and exercise to change something, don't start medication, because once you start that medication will stop your body, I'm hearing, from producing insulin if you introduce it to them. I worked in a gym for many years. I've seen people that were on all kinds of medication, and I've seen them off of all of it because they changed the way they ate and they worked out. They used to take a bunch of pills. Now they take none. Now I'm sure that's going to depend on how far gone you are, because your body will not make insulin anymore if insulin is put into your body. Let's just bigger picture. There's a time and a place for everything, but you know, the Lord, the time right now is 11:11, the actual time. The Lord put us here on this earth, and everything that we need medicinally and nutritionally is grown naturally outside. The reason why we have horrible teeth is because of what we eat. Bad teeth, your teeth are all connected to your organs as well. If you have a bad tooth, you know, your health of you by your teeth, okay? Just because the human looks okay on the outside. And you might feel just fine. Me, I have so many broken teeth, so I know I'm constantly under infection. So how great would you feel if you didn't have inflammation? You know, inflammation is the number one killer, and it all has to do with our gut health. Dr. Sebi, S-E-B-I, which is dead, of course. But he talks about the alkaline diet, I want to say. Because the water's horrible. And then when we filter everything out of it, then we have no minerals and everything. So you're getting nothing out of it except chlorine and a bunch of other shit if you're drinking tap water. And then bottled water, God only knows. But we want alkaline in our body, so we buy alkaline water. We'll put a lemon and a lime in it, and then you get all kinds of benefits. Vitamin C, vitamin A, all kinds of stuff. Plus, it's a natural alkaline. And write thank you on your clear bottles. Thank you to your water when you're drinking it. I think it's Dr. Emoto, E-M-O-T-O. You can look that up. He does the water crystal, water picture things or whatever. It's great. You know, everything, our words Our thoughts, our feelings is what creates everything. If you, this is coming to mind, if you are just sexually magnetically drawn to somebody and that's it, but your head is like, but we really don't have a thing here, but man, for some reason, I just want this person so bad. But your head is at 100,000% into it. Look at that. Because your head and your heart need to be in alliance. I heard it's got to make sense. And if it's just a sexual energy, well, that's a fleshly thing. It's not a soul thing. Be mindful of that. Especially of those of you that are gifted and those of you that don't even know it. I'm sure that's a whole thing because depending on, I just heard how high ranking you are or whatever your purpose is, other people will know this about you. Pay attention to who you tell your ideas and dreams to, and then what happens after that. 21:21. Be mindful not to talk to too many people so you can boil it down. You are the master. You, I heard puppeteer, of your puppet, of your puppet, of your human. And, you know, just like in video games, the only thing you can control is your own player. Same thing here. The only thing you can control is your own player. People will come against you, but that's because of their own things. It's not my problem what you think of me. That's all on you. Because I haven't done anything to you. And if I have, and I don't know about it, and you're going to be mad at me, where's the fairness in that? Well, you know what you did. How could I? You don't tell me. Well, because, you know, you get all these feelings and da 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 da. Yeah, don't pry. And I think sometimes some people will think that you know things that you don't because you don't pry. You don't pull cards to find out about what's happening next in my life. 11/17, that's a birthday. Scorpio. Come to me. I wonder whose birthday's on the 17th. Why would I say come to me? Huh? Anyway. Oh gosh. Better not lean back too far. Oh, I am wearing underwear this time. Ah! So, I don't, because I don't pry. I don't try to read people's minds. I don't try to go in and read a room. I just walk in, and what I need to know it. And I just walk in, and I know I'm protected. I can literally walk in the devil's house and know that I'm protected and nothing will happen to me. And if anything does, it's because it was meant to be. And if it's meant to be, I don't need to know why, but maybe it's for their karma. You know, looking at things in a different way, or their last chance. You know who this person is. We're presenting them to you again. This is your chance to act right. This is your chance to get it right. Some of you have been given so many chances to make things right, and yet you're still so stuck in the illusionary thing. Devil's got a hold of you. Well, you control that. You control that. Because if there's darkness in your mind from your unhealed things, that's where the spirit of whatever comes in. Lust, greed, gluttony, the spirit of. And some things, we aren't supposed to know some things until we need to know them. This is why divination in the Bible talks about that. You don't do that. When prophets spoke because they got visions and stuff, it was from the word of God, knowing that these things needed to be spoken for a reason. God's talking to you through people. Now, using cards to try to find out if someone's doing this and someone's doing that and your future and all that, your future isn't written yet. Who knows what you're going to do now? What you're going to do in this moment. Like in this moment, I can make a decision that's going to take me on a totally different track. Whoop. And then another decision will go the other branch and the other branch and the other branch. But it's all going to lead back to this one place. Possibly. I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm still sitting here. And I want to say, because they're bringing ascension to me, and my thought on ascension is you ascend out of your human. So when your human is gone, then you're ascending. That's what I believe it to be. Now, awakening, asleep in the nightmare called your life, or maybe it is a dream, but I feel like most humans, if they're of the world still, it's hell. You're living in hell and you don't even know it. And you know what? It's only going to get better from there. Because if you're still living in hell, what do you think is going to happen after you leave this earth realm, this earth plane? You leave your human and you didn't get right. Back into hell. Back into hell, called your human existence. Or you can love yourself, be kind to yourself, and love everyone else around you, and live with peace on earth. The new earth, whatever that is. It don't matter. There's so much going on in the gap, or in this etheric realm, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. It's spirit realm. I get visions in clouds. I get visions in all different kinds of ways. So whatever I say now, it's going to change, because there's 11:22 is the time, because there's so much manipulation going on. But the best part is, you don't need to figure all the manipulation out. Let the effery happen and just know that you're protected. You don't need to burn. I mean, you can burn sage and do all this and do all that. But when you have an inner standing and know that everything comes from the Father, oh, the angels are the ones that help you. Who made the angels? I don't care what you call anything. It's still from the Creator. Ta-da! Oh, I thought myself and believed into existence that I would help my body and my body would heal because I believe it. So God assisted in that. But first I had to believe it. Just like with Jesus in that movie, that series, The Chosen, with the lady that just touched his garment, he felt power leave him. He said, "Who touched me?" He didn't even lay hands on her. He didn't pray to Father to heal her. She touched his garment and she knew, all I need to do is touch his garment and I'll be healed. Faith healed her. Faith. For we walk by faith and not by sight. I'm done lecturing you guys. Love your enemy. Thank you, Jesus. Because they're hurting too, just like you. And when two hurting people come together, what do you think that's going to be? A hurt show. A hurt show. I was going to say something else, but you know what I mean. An ish show. A shoot show. You feel? feel so sad for people because I'm the feeler of pain. That's part of my gift. It's the darkness, I guess. God blessed me with the soul, all of us, with the soul of love. But I've had a lot of things happen to me that should have turned me a different way, but didn't. And I feel like it's not a safe playing field because I feel like I was just blessed with more of an understanding to things. I just love people no matter what because I know their pain because I hurt too. Because I've been hurt too. Even the ones that have come against me and hurt me so bad, I loved them so much because I feel their pain. Because I've been there too. I never knew what was the deciding factor. 11/25. That is for me because that's Thanksgiving. I think 3 years ago, but I think it was on that date. But anyway, what was I talking about? Wanting to. I just got tired. Every other time I prayed, I tried. I used to try to, before I knew. I used to try to. Years ago, I did do a moon ritual, and that's when I started to. It was time, but it wasn't so much the moon ritual. It was God knows your heart. God knew my heart. God knew I was ready, and I was in a place where I was able to do that and face what I had to face. It's not over. I still have it. But man, it was rough. And no, I didn't have a support system. I actually was with somebody that was triggering every one of my pain, all of my trauma. Not only was I reliving it from a child, which was horrendous, but I was living it in the flesh and blood with somebody that I loved so much. That I would do anything for. He just can't love me because he can't love himself. And I can't help him. They have to want to help themselves. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just walk away completely out of their life. I don't get upset. I mean, it kind of hurts my... No, it doesn't really hurt my feelings anymore, but... How could you get upset at somebody for doing what they always do, what they normally do, and you know that, and yet you're going to get upset? No. You already know how they are. Let them show you again who they are and what you mean to them. But yet we want to, no, it isn't like that. No, it isn't like that. No, it isn't, because their words are this, and they try to manipulate and do this. You know what? Listen to them. When they show you how they are, they show you. But see, the scary thing about that is, sometimes the human will act out things, but the feeling is different inside, especially the hurting ones, right? People used to tell me, do I even have a heart? My heart is ice cold, and it's exactly the opposite. I must have put on a persona, you know what I mean? My human shield to protect me, my soul, my fragile little person inside. Well, she's all grown up. She doesn't have to be that little hurt child anymore. Those things are over. They happen for a reason. What are you going to do with the lessons that you learned now, teacher? Are you still going to just talk to everybody about the same effery that goes on in your life? That's all you're going to see. And if you're with somebody and you talk to this person and you talk to that person and you talk to that person and you tell, and I've done this my whole life. I don't have people in my life, so I don't have to worry about it now, but it's the contrast. It's the contrast. It's the 180 flip. It's looking at things from a different perspective. You want something so bad that that's all you can think about. Till you get it and you're like, I don't think I want this. Why is that? Because we want what we can't have. It's the appeal of it, right? It's the intrigue. It's the chase. Do you really want it? Or is it just because you can't have it and it's that little child in you that's not healed? Because emotionally, you're still that age because you were traumatized at whatever age. Emotionally, you haven't grown. And if you started doing drugs, then you haven't grown in a lot of ways. Your body keeps growing, but your thought processes have not. Necessarily. It stunts your growth. Don't smoke marijuana when you're young because it stunts your growth. Well, it does more than that. It stunts, and now, marijuana is not a drug to me because we need it. Physiologically in our body, CBD and all that, it's a thing. Marijuana is like a herb, right? I always think it should be drank in tea, but whatever. Sprinkle it on your food like any other dry herbs, right? Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that, and this is too long already, so I'm going to let you go. I went on a tangent. Especially if you know these people in your life and you know the traumas they come from, it's never okay for you. You don't have to stay in something because you understand them and what the problem is. But, I mean, there's boundaries and stuff. You have to take care of yourself. But if you can, and you can find it in yourself to stop and go, they're hurting so bad. That's why they act. That's why they're hurting themselves. And you're just in the way. Not in the way, but, you're there. So while they're trying to single-handedly destroy their lives, they take everyone with them. Not always meant on everyone's part that way. I know I'm speaking for myself. I never meant for all of that. And that was one of the real huge reasons for how I surrendered and said enough is enough. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I don't want to hurt anymore. But I didn't want to hurt people anymore. I wanted to be a blessing, not a curse. I want to uplift and love, and I want love. I deserve love too. We all do. It's not a deserving, it's a thing. It's like breathing air. It should just be. But there's people out there, call it the devil or whatever. It's an excuse to not blame yourself and to put it off on someone else. When you're blaming the devil for your actions, the devil made me do it. This is where you have a choice, and this is where it matters. The devil can't make you do anything. You still control your human. Now they can mind control you and do all that. We're not talking about all that, okay? Let's just talk about your own personal thing. And what you put out, you get back. So if you're randomly thinking horrible things about people all the time, and maybe that's what you do, and you talk shit about people, blah, 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 that's all shit you're putting out that you're going to get back. And if it doesn't come back to you because maybe you died, but, well, Maybe your lineage, you'll have to deal with that. And when you come back, you'll have that again. You, right now, have the opportunity and the choice to change your whole lineage. And what I mean by that is your generations. If there's physical abuse, drug abuse, if any kind of anything, you are the game changer. Stop it. Just know that with you, all of the BS stops right now. From here on out, my kids will be better. Their kids are going to be better. Their kids will be better. You. I know it might not seem like it, but I said that. I did that. My children are doing that. But when you come home to yourself and you have an understanding of who you are, why you're here, and the whole reason for it all, first of all, I'm just going to say love. Then don't go out looking for anything. Everything you need is already in you. You have to open it. Let it out. Let your soul shine. Damn sure better than rain. Except we need rain for water, but you know what I mean. I love you. Namaste. What am I going to name this thing? I feel like there's so many. Squirrel. Peace. Ciao.